Good morning, everybody. We're going to give everyone about one more minute to join the call, and then we'll get started. All right, we'll get started this morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's video conference. On the call, we have the defensive coordinator of number 3 ranked Georgia Bulldogs, Dan Lanning. Shortly after Coach speaks, we'll welcome defensive lineman Jordan Davis, linebacker N'Kobe Dean, defensive back Lewis Seen, defensive back Chris Smith, and linebacker Quay Walker. Before we get started this morning, media attending the 2021 College Football Playoff semifinal at the Capital One Orange Bowl in person are reminded to pick up their credentials at the official media headquarters in 7 Isles Executive Boardroom at Le Méridien Dania Beach at Fort Lauderdale Airport from December 27th through December 31st, or at Hard Rock Stadium Media Will Call at the Southwest Gate on December 31st. All of this information is available online at orangebowl.org/pressbox. A recording of today's video conference will be available on the CFP Media portal. You can access it from www.orangebowl.org/pressbox shortly after the press conferences conclude today, and we will send out links as soon as we're done. For today's Zoom press conference, please keep yourself muted. Use the raise hand function to ask a question. I'll recognize you when it's your turn, and you can then unmute your line, or I'll unmute your line, and you can identify yourself to Coach or the players and your affiliation. So we'll get started today. I'll turn it over to Coach Lanning for brief remarks, and then we'll open up for questions. Go ahead, Coach.
Good morning, everybody. First off, would like to thank the Orange Bowl. This has been a fantastic experience for our team and our staff. I think it's been since 1960 since University of Georgia was here at the Orange Bowl. For me, this is my first time professionally. I know for several of our coaches and staff and players. So coming here, it's a unique experience. We got in last night, or I guess yesterday afternoon. We're able to get settled, and so far everything has been absolutely first class. I'm really proud of the work our team has done to get here. Proud of their preparation here once the season wrapped up and going into the holidays. Our guys are eager and hungry to get back out there on the field together, and certainly excited to see the product that we're able to put on the field here when we hit the field against Michigan. That being said, we can go ahead and get opened up.
All right, first question, Ralph Russo, go ahead.
Hey, Dan, congratulations on the new gig. Wanted to ask you about, obviously, the last game. I know you've been asked about that a lot, but I guess what I'm wondering is, when you have one bad game out of the season, what does that look like when you go back and start reviewing that compared to other games? Is it a back to the drawing board situation? Is it a just, oh no, we only need to make a couple of tweaks? Like, when you're sort of recovering from a game where a lot of things didn't go right, what does it look like for a coach to dig in on that compared to games where a lot of things went right, which you had for most of the season?
Yeah, I think you have to approach it like any game that we have had this season, where you go back and you try to be analytical regardless of the result. We take a deep dive every single game. When we're successful, we take a deep dive when we're not. And our approach didn't change after this past game. I think you give a lot of credit where credit's due. They did a great job against us, and I think they're left a little bit of hunger there for us, Ralph, to go back out there and get an opportunity to play again.
Okay, next question, Dennis Dodd, go ahead.
Dan, kind of the same thing again. Congratulations on Oregon. Is there a wounded pride factor to this, to the defense? I know Ralph asked the question, but just digging down on this, do you have to address that first, or again, is it all technical?
Our guys are excited to compete. I mean, every time we take the field, I don't think it matters if it's practice and we're doing team run against each other, or if it's game day. Our guys want to go out there and prove their worth. I think they've done that week in and week out this season. And the fact that we had a hiccup doesn't affect what we want to do going forward. Luckily for us, ending that game, every single one of our goals still stands in front of us. And this opportunity, there's 4 teams in the nation that get to go play right now at this level. I think we recognize that opportunity in front of us and want to go take advantage of it.
And next question is for Mark Schlabach. Go ahead.
Morning, Dan. Can you just describe what the last few weeks have been like, trying to balance the new role and your responsibilities at Georgia and keeping the proper balance? And I know you've hired a few assistant coaches. How much have you been able to get out to Eugene, if at all?
I went out one time initially right after getting hired, and really excited about what we're putting together there. My focus, the good thing, again, West Coast being 3 hours behind us, is giving us the opportunity to be able to really focus on Georgia early on during the day, and then later on at night, able to get a lot of things accomplished with our team there at Oregon and our staff as we're piecing that together.
And next question for Tim Reynolds.
Dan, good morning. We're seeing, we all know what's going on in the world right now with the virus numbers, of course. We're seeing some bowl games unable to go forward.
Hey, Tim, sorry you got cut off there. Can you repeat that question?
Yep. Dan, I was asking you about the virus and what's going on. We see some bowl games unable to go forward. You guys are here to be safe, but also it's a bowl game. You want the kids to have an experience. How important is that balance that, you have the beach outing and team dinners and stuff like that? How important is that even at a time like this to give the kids that bowl experience?
Ultimately, I think every one of our kids, if you ask them, would tell you that we came here for one purpose. But I'll say this: I've got tremendous amount of respect for our medical staff. Ron Corson and his staff, and the precautions they've taken to prepare our kids. I also give our players a lot of credit for how diligent they've been on taking proper precautions, whether it be wearing the mask through the hotel or when they're out and about. But we came here to win a football game, and we're excited about everything that the Orange Bowl does for our players. But there's no secret what we came here for.
Next question for Andrea Adelson. Go ahead.
Hey, Dan, when you look at Michigan and their offensive line and what they do with their running backs, what type of challenge do they present that might be a little bit different than what you've seen this season?
Yeah, Michigan plays football. You got to give Coach Harbaugh and Coach Gaddis credit with the way they have running backs that can run the ball. They use tight ends, like a lot of people don't use tight ends today. In some ways similar to what our offense does. They run hard mouth, smash mouth football plays. They demand some physicality up front, which I know we're excited to see. And then they have the ability to attack you downfield. So I just think they show tremendous balance in the way they prepare and the way they play the game. And it's going to be a physical football game, which I know we certainly appreciate.
And next question for David Hale.
Hey, Dan. Cade McNamara has a very interesting throwing motion for a quarterback. It's sort of that sidearm, almost like a shot put type of delivery. Have you seen that before with a quarterback? And what does that present a different challenge for your guys who are trying to disrupt passing lanes and stuff like that?
For us schematically, I don't think we change a lot of how we attack that, but I do think he has an extremely quick release. That shows up on film. He's very accurate with the way he delivers the ball, and the fact that he can release it from different passing angles is unique. Always for us, there's going to be an emphasis in trying to affect the passer, and what that looked like, and can be different based on each game. But for him, that's no different for us. We want to be able to get our hands up, get in passing lanes. We want to be able to close to him and create some tough throws. And then we want to make sure he has to throw into tight windows. So, but he's shown that he can do that. So he is going to give us an opportunity. We have to go out there and play our best to be able to stop that.
Thanks. Next question for Mike Griffith.
Yeah, thanks. Oh, excuse me. Can you unmute me? Can you unmute me, please? Dan,
You're unmuted, Mike. Go ahead. You can talk.
Thanks. Yeah, I appreciate you calling on somebody that covers the team. Yeah, Dan, a two-part question here. One, Michigan does profile as a power team, and yet they have all these explosive plays over 50, 60, and 70 yards. Can you explain that paradox? And two, what was it like when Will slid into the secondary, and what was it like working with Coach Muschamp back there on defense?
Yeah, absolutely. But first starting off with the explosive plays, I think what you'll see is they're very creative on offense with what they do, and they do a great job attacking poor eye discipline. There's multiple plays they use to set up the next play, whether it be play action runs to set up play action shots down the field, whether it be their misdirection game with reverses, flea flickers. They do a great job utilizing trick plays to get the ball extended down the field, as well as those shots. And then, to answer the second part of your question, Coach Muschamp has been invaluable to us, just from an experience standpoint. I think he does a good job of communicating with our players. I know our guys really love being coached by Will. I certainly love having him in the room. He's been a good guy for me to be able to lean on, and our coaching staff to be able to lean on, with his experience and just with his demeanor and his approach every day, the way he comes to work. It's been fun to be around.
Okay, next question for Chip Towers. Go ahead, Chip.
Yeah, Coach, probably the craziest thing about that SEC championship game, when I look at it, is 0 sacks. That was certainly not you guys' MO at all this year. Was that a product of scheme, do you think, or was that more of just what Alabama was able to do, on the offensive line? And how different is it going to be? Is that necessary when playing somebody like Michigan?
Yeah, I mean, always you want to be able to affect the passer, like I said before. I think it's a combination. They did a great job doing some things different schematically, and then obviously have a quarterback back there that's elusive and able to run. Created some opportunities that were made it hard for us to get them down. Several close calls that we weren't able to finish on. So certainly been a point of emphasis for us moving forward, and something we want to be able to take advantage of in this game. But they're a good offensive line. They do a good job protecting the quarterback. So we have to try to find unique ways to create that pass rush.
And next question for Mark Weiser.
Hey, Dan, in terms of the defense for this game, what is different about the operation of the coaching staff wise, given that your plate's been full and in the lead up to the game, and then the game planning and who will call the plays Friday night?
Yeah, our approach will be very similar to what it's been all season. Nothing's really going to change from the way we operate, whether it be, luckily with bowl prep, there is a lot more time. There is a lot of time to be able to get ready. And I think a lot of times people make the mistake of trying to do too much in a shortened window, so we'll operate very similar to what we've operated all season. I'll still be making the calls, but every single one of our defensive coaches have been extremely involved throughout the week, throughout our preparation. And this is a team effort. It's been a team effort all season. That doesn't change for just this one game, whether it be Coach Smart's involvement, Coach Schumann, Coach Scott, Coach Adai, Coach Muschamp. There's a lot of hats and there's a brain trust that kind of goes into how we operate, and our players are very involved in that. So everything's going to be operating like it has all season.
And next question is for Zach Klein.
Hey, Coach, what has Hassan Haskins done to get cooking lately? 7 touchdowns his final 2 games. And have you broken down a meeting by saying go Ducks instead of go Dogs?
No meetings here have been broken down like that. No, great question. Hassan and really their whole backfield, those guys are extremely physical. They run tough. I know for us, personally, we've shown a lot of film of these guys breaking tackles, and the way they run hard. Very rarely are they running to avoid contact. They're running to create contact. I think that shows up in the way that they play week in and week out, but they have a real disciplined approach. They're going to make sure that they emphasize running the ball, and that's shown up a lot with Hassan and all the running backs.
Okay, next question's for Pat Forty.
Hey, Dan, question there. You mentioned how they attack eye discipline. How would you say that you guys poor eye discipline, sorry, your team's eye discipline has been, and how do you coach that?
Yeah, I think you just have to recreate as much of that as possible within practice and within walkthroughs and film study. Our players, take a tremendous amount of pride in doing their jobs and doing it correctly. But you have to recreate some of those tough moments, some of those conflict plays within practice, and you have to work setup plays in practice to set up a tougher play throughout the game. And I would say at the end of the day, our guys have been really solid all season. From an eye discipline standpoint, certainly there's some moments that we feel like we could be a lot better. But we challenge ourselves to try to make practice harder than the game. And we've been able to do that, for the most part this season.
All right, we're going to take a couple more questions here. Next one is for Connor Riley.
Hey, Dan, I wanted to ask you about Glenn Schumann and sort of how he has grown as a coach over your time together at Georgia, especially with him already sort of having the co-defensive coordinator role.
Yeah, Glenn's a phenomenal coach. He's also a great friend. He cares about his players tremendously. They have a huge amount of respect for Glenn and the way he works day in and day out. He's a diligent worker. He's extremely smart. He's somebody that I've leaned on my entire time here at Georgia, just because I have a lot of respect for how Glenn handles himself. He's obviously extremely intelligent and does a great job of helping us game plan and create opportunities for our players. So he's grown every single year as a coach. I think that's one of the things that's unique about this environment is coaches is developed this setup here where people can grow, and we're lifelong learners in this group, and Glenn's certainly an example of that.
Okay, we'll do two more questions. Next one's for Anthony Dasher.
Oh, hey, Coach, sorry about that. Ask you about Chris Smith just real quick. I know he's still a little bit banged up for the SEC championship game. How much has the 3 weeks off allowed him to maybe get back to his old self? And as far as the star position, I know William Poole got the start against Alabama. Is this a kind of a game where maybe Latavius Brini maybe kind of brought back to the folks? It seems like this is more of this suits his style of play.
Yeah, I think the time off in general for all of our players, including Chris, has been, very beneficial from a recovery standpoint. Our guys have been really working hard in the training room to accelerate some of that recovery. And I know going into this game that both Poole and Brini both are attacking this thing, ready to go play and go get to work. So excited to see what both those guys are able to do.
Okay, last question before we bring in the players. Go ahead, Dennis Dodd, last one.
Yeah, Dan, you mentioned the time difference in the West Coast. How late are you working if you're keeping the Oregon work, I guess, to the second half of the day?
I don't clock in and clock out. We work until the work's done. Sometimes that's later than other nights, but we've hit a couple late nights, but no lack of energy or ability to roll here. I'm excited about the opportunity, obviously out there, tremendous opportunity. But our players and coaches here have done a great job of affording me that opportunity. So I'm not going to do a disservice to our guys by not finishing this the right way and the effort that I put in to what we've done here.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it. We're going to bring in Georgia players one at a time. So the first player is going to be Nakobe Dean, who joins us here momentarily. Again, if you have any questions for the players, please raise your hand and I will call on you. Morning, Nakobe. How you doing?
Good morning. How y'all doing?
All right, first question from Nakobe. We'll go to Mark Weiser.
Hey, Nakobe, how's it going?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Can you kind of let me know, what the last, 15, 16 hours has been for you guys as you come here, and it's kind of a different bowl experience with, I saw you guys wearing masks, around the hotel and that kind of thing. Are you able to enjoy anything around Miami?
Yeah, so last 15, 16 hours been basically, we had practice yesterday. We had practice, and we basically just traveled here, had basically a bowl activity. We ate on a boat and we came back and we had a little free time, we got masks on, we trying to stay away. We trying to stay safe from this new variant out here. So for the most part, we just stand around each other in the player lounge and just chilling. on our free time.
All right, next question is for Zach Klein. Go ahead, Zach.
Hey, Nakobe, did you notice any pickup in the intensity, energy, focus, whatever you want to call it, following the Alabama game compared to the way you were rolling during the regular season? Did you guys kind of need that hard reset and snap back to reality?
I did. I did, because kind of like when we started back practicing, it was kind of like a camp style of practice when we first started back. So it was kind of a new reset of energy and focus. But I won't say that there was a fall off even before we had played. So I feel like we just gotta continue to work and continue to do what we do.
Okay, next question is for Mark Schlabach. Go ahead, Mark.
Good morning, Nicobe. How much do you think you guys have to prove after the performance against Alabama that you were as good as people thought you were during the regular season? And what attributed to the blown coverages in the secondary that we didn't see during the regular season?
I feel like we just gotta work. We gotta trust the coach's game plan, and we gotta execute. We gotta execute at a high level. And as far as contribute to the blown coverages, it was just we didn't have elite focus and elite execution. We got to execute our job, do our 111 every day. So it's like for the blown coverages and everything, it's like we just didn't have elite focus and elite execution at play.
And next question is for Steve Hummer.
Yes, hey, Nakobe. What do you think has been this defense is the most effective thing you've done in the last couple of weeks to get reset from the last game?
Basically, reiterating the opportunity that we got. I know for me, it's been telling the guys the type of opportunity that we got in the position that we're in. It's a lot of teams out there who are not in this position that we're in and got the opportunity that we have to do what we do. So basically, that's kind of been the refocus and the mindset that we got a huge opportunity to do something that never been done before in a long time.
All right, we're going to take two more questions here for Nakobe. Next one goes to Jed May.
Hey, Nakobe. Coach Lanning got asked about him, so I want to ask you about Coach Schumann. Just what is it like, or what is he like as a leader of this defense and a leader as the inside linebacker room, and just how have you seen him grow, as a coach and a leader over your years in Athens?
Yeah, he's grown right along with me. As a coach, I feel like he's great. He works as hard as, if not harder, as we work on the field, So he demands the best out of us, and that was one of the reasons I came, because I know he was gonna push me to be great, not just be good or be average, be mediocre. He was gonna push me to be great every day in and day out, and that's one of the big reasons that I really respect him and grateful for him for that.
All right, last question for Seth Emerson.
Nakobe, is there any kind of danger in trying to fix what went wrong in the last game when the next opponent plays a different style and has different strengths and weaknesses, the way Michigan and Alabama kind of contrast with each other?
Well, we do what we always did. We went to the doctor, seeing what hurt us, what we didn't do, how we didn't execute. We worked on that, but at the same time, we're on another opponent. So it's a new game plan, similar goal to win, but a new game plan. So we just got to trust the plan and execute at a high level.
All right, thank you, Nakobe.
Thank
Appreciate
y'all.
the time. Next student athlete we're going to have is Chris Smith.
How you doing?
Morning, Chris. How's it going?
Morning.
All right, we'll get started. Chris, first question for Connor O'Reilly. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, hey Chris, I wanted to ask you, how is your knee doing? And obviously in that Alabama game and in the time since then, how has that impacted your ability to play at both the safety position and the star position?
My knee doing pretty well. I've been working with the training staff a lot to be able to get back going on the field and stuff like that. I definitely had a great opportunity to be able to play in the last game, and I'm doing everything I can to play in this game. And the training staff is working with me so much, and I appreciate them for that. I'm putting in a lot of work to be able to get my knee back right, and everything's gonna be good.
And next question for Anthony Dasher. Go ahead, Anthony.
Hey, Chris, good to see you today. Excuse me, what percentage do you feel your knee is right now? And I know you played a little bit of star left in the, late in the season. Do you anticipate going back to that position for this particular ball game?
I don't really want to disclose that information about the percentage of my knee or anything, but I'm doing everything I could be to be able to play, and I'll go out there and fight for my brothers.
All right, next question for Chip Towers. Go ahead, Chip.
Yeah, Chris, I'm wondering, with Coach Lanning heading out, Coach Schumann and Coach Muschamp being co-defensive coordinators, has the dynamic changed in terms of the day-to-day at all? Can you just kind of describe if it's different, or is it absolutely the same? You wouldn't know anything was different.
No, sir. It's absolutely the same. We still been running things how we've been running it all season. Obviously, Coach Lanning hasn't gone on to his new job yet. He's still with us, and like he said earlier, he's going to try to play out his role with us the best he can, to the best of his ability. And he's been doing a great job of that all year, and he's continuing to do so until this thing is over.
And next question for Justin Felder. Go ahead, Justin.
What's up, Chris? Hey, we just heard from Nakobe. You guys got to, go out on a boat a little bit yesterday, but you look around the NBA, the NFL. I mean, this thing's hitting teams. So does Coach Smart say something to you guys? Does Dr. Corson say something to you guys? And what do they say about being safe? Is it just, stay in your room, wash your hands a million times? Like, what's the message to you guys to be safe?
It's really the same thing that they've been reiterating to us all year, just being safe, wearing masks. COVID is definitely going back up right now, and it's getting crazy. So they're just stressing us to be safe and make good decisions. COVID is pretty much everywhere right now, so you can't really dodge it or anything like that. But the things we can do as players, coaches, as a whole team is just try to be safe, because it's getting really crazy out here. So they just reiterating the fact that you need to be safe, wear masks, wash your hands, stuff like that, to make sure that we don't have a breakout or anything like that.
Okay, next question for Davis Baker. Go ahead, Davis.
Chris, when you guys have 25 days in between games, does the competitiveness in practice change at all? Is there increase? Does it increase? Does it decrease?
It stays the same. We always have a competitive environment in our practices and stuff like that. And another thing our coaches do a good job of, and even players on our team, is keeping up that competitive balance within our team. We always want to go out there and compete and get better every single day, because it's always stuff that we can improve on. And we want to be perfect, but you're never going to be perfect. So it's a lot of things we can improve on each and every day. And when we go out there and compete, we're just working to get better.
All right, last question here for Chris. I'll go to Dennis Dodd. Go ahead, Dennis.
Hey, Chris. I wonder if you could explain, why the Alabama result did or didn't put, doubt in your minds about how good this defense is.
Well, it definitely didn't put doubt in my mind about our defense. We go in and we put work in every week for our opponent and things like that. Obviously things didn't go how we wanted to go that day, but we focus on a new opponent. We focus on Michigan, and we focus on being over here to be able to get a win so we can move on to the next level of our season.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank y'all.
Next, we're going to have Lewis Seen. Good morning, Lewis. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing great. And yourself?
Pretty good. All right, we'll get you started here. First question to Seth Emerson.
Sorry. Hey, Lewis. Hate to ask, but this is a common question I get from people. What do you all only get tested for COVID if you're symptomatic or unvaccinated, or is there like still surveillance testing going on for you all like last year?
I honestly know as little as you do. Well, a larger percentage of the team, well, probably 98 or 99% of the team's vaccinated. Other than that, that's the only thing I can say because I don't know the rest of what's going on other than that.
Our next question to Mike Griffith. You there, Mike?
Oh, yeah, thank you. I asked Coach Lanning earlier about Michigan being a power football team, and yet they have all these explosive plays. I know that you've studied this team deeply. How do you explain that paradox? How is a power team also so explosive?
For one, it's definitely the players they have. A team wouldn't be what they are without good players. They have some really good explosive players from offense, running backs, slot receivers, tight ends, even their quarterbacks. So the players make majority of who they are, and then good coaching with their head coach, receiving coordinators coach. A lot of those guys I'm familiar with. So it all comes to those two factors, really.
Okay, next question for Steve Hummer.
Yeah, hey, Lewis, the specific to the secondary, what did you guys need to fix after the last game?
Specifically to our secondary. Well, I'd say that not a lot had to be changed in terms of, what we know. It's just we just went back to our fundamentals, really. Use this stretch of getting ready for Michigan to also work on ourselves. So we did that, work on the fundamentals, the basically the things that people don't seem to focus on when they get to these points in these games. So that's basically what we did.
All right, next question for David Hale.
Hey, Lewis. Kate McNamara has that really sort of funky sidearm delivery. As a DB, does that impact how you kind of are tracking the ball, or kind of does it make it tougher to sort of see it come out of his hand and that kind of stuff? Is there any impact at all in the way that he delivers the ball compared to sort of that more normal drop back overhand style?
No. I mean, the ball has to get in the air one way or another, regardless how he throws and which way he throws. It's still going to be in the air, so that doesn't really affect me.
Okay, next question for Jed May. Go ahead, Jed.
Yeah, Lewis, a two-part question. One, you mentioned the fundamentals there. Sort of what are the fundamentals that y'all have been working on in practice over the past couple of weeks? And then two, I guess a couple of weeks ago, you mentioned, y'all did some things you hadn't really done all year against Alabama. Has there been an emphasis in practice on, I guess, doing what y'all have done all year to get you to this point?
Well, basically, the fundamental stuff is tracking the ball at the highest point, tackling, because in bowl games, there's a lot of missed tackles. Making sure we communicate from D linemen to linebackers to the four corners of the DBs, from corner to safety. Other than that, it's just those little things that'll make a big difference when it comes to the games. A lot of people might not think so, but we think so, and that's why we're really focused on that. And secondly, what was your second part of your question? Can you hear me?
Go ahead, Jed.
Sorry, I was muted still. You mentioned, last time we talked with you that you guys did some things maybe differently defensively, schematically than you've done maybe all year against Alabama. Has there been an emphasis in practice on just getting back to what y'all have done all year and the stuff that's made y'all so good, through those first 12 games?
Well, we kind of. I can't really say. I can't really say that because most likely other teams are watching these interviews also. So wait till the game and you'll see. And that's the most I could say.
All right. Thank you, Lewis. Appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Next up, we're going to have Quay Walker. Good morning, Quay. How you doing?
Morning. How are you?
Good. All right. We'll get started here. Connor Riley, go ahead. Your first question.
Hey, Quay, wanted to ask you, when you were being recruited, what impressed you about Glenn Schumann? And now that you've played under him for 4 years, how have you seen him grow as a coach?
Just his knowledge for the game and everything like that. Me and Coach Schumann relationship pretty much started kind of late or whatnot, however you want to put it, throughout my recruitment. My main recruiter was Coach Kevin Scherer. They ended up going to Tennessee or whatnot. It was him. But ever since me and Coach Schumann started, things have just been, real perfect from the get-go. Just anything that we talked about, everything that stood out, that I wanted to stood out, just stood out from him. Mainly his, by him being so intelligent of the game and whatnot, things like that, just stood out with me, and that transfer over to today.
Your next question for Richard Johnson. Go ahead, Richard.
Hi, Quay. Coach Lanning talked about eye discipline and how important that will be against Michigan, especially with how they pull and use tight ends. How have you guys been drilling that during the bowl prep and staying on top of it?
I've just been working on it each and every day throughout practices, and just making it one of our key focus points, however you want to put it. It's just something that we really, looking forward to, and just pay close attention to. Even in walkthroughs, we do the same thing as well. So we pretty much test it each and out throughout every day.
Okay, next question, Andrea Adelson. Go ahead.
Good morning. Coach Lanning had mentioned that they've been showing you guys a lot of the running backs breaking tackles.
Right.
And I'm wondering what the keys are going to be, knowing how physical these guys are and how they enjoy the contact and are actually looking for it and not trying to avoid it.
Just at the end of the day, this is pretty much why you play football, and that's pretty much the name of the game. Just run and hit. Make sure we wrap up, drive our feet as well. Pretty much gain tackles as well. Just swarm the ball and do what we do, and that'll take place of everything. But back to what you said, they're really good backs.
Our next question for Jeff Schultz. Go ahead, Jeff.
Well, obviously, the Alabama game has been a major talking point for a lot of media and fans. I'm just wondering, from your perspective, as you looked at that game and played in it, was there anything at any point when you thought, geez, maybe we're not as good as we thought we were?
No, at the end of the day, it just came down to that day. It just came down to the main team that was played the best game. And they played the best game. They were the better team that day. They executed very well and highly on both sides of the ball. So at the end of the day, we pretty much didn't do our job on defense. We didn't get any turnovers. We didn't set the quarterback. More than likely, when that happened, you're not going to win no game. So at the end of the day, we just got to do what we got to do, and that'll take care of everything else.
Our next question for Pat Forty. Go ahead, Pat.
Hi, Quay. I want to take you back to when you committed to Georgia. It was a lot of guys from that 2018 signing class who are now key players on defense. When you guys were coming together, did you have a feeling that you had a special class coming together?
No doubt about it. It was the main goal. Seeing the 2017 team and the things that they did, going to the Rose Bowl, winning, going to the Natty as well. That was a place that was a thing that we wanted to do as well. As recruits, so we already pretty much had our mind made up. But we know it's not easy getting here. You just got to put the work in and day out, and things will happen for you.
Okay, last question for Quay for Mark Weiser. Go ahead, Mark.
You mentioned the 2017 team. Kirby's obviously got this program back on the stage. What's been his message to you guys about, I guess now that the Alabama game is past you and you have 2 games, if you can get by Michigan to get to your goal, like, what does he say about now this where you all are at and what you have ahead of you?
Pretty much just continue being us and not let outside things, ruin what we have going on, which is the dogs don't beat the dogs. We just got to focus on 3 things: focus on us, Michigan as well, and things we can do to get better. Other than that, everything should play out how we wanted to play out. But at the end of the day, we just got to go play football.
All right. Thanks, Quay. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
Our last student athlete this morning is going to be Jordan Davis.
Morning, everybody.
Morning, Jordan. How you doing?
Very good, very good.
Good. All right, we'll get started here. First question for Jordan is going to be from Mike Griffith. Go ahead, Mike.
Thanks for being here, Jordan. Coach Lanning was talking about their backs running to contact, the physicality of the game. Is there anybody on your schedule? I know that football is a physical game by nature. Anybody you'd compare the Michigan offense to? And what about the physical challenge? Does this play into Georgia's hands somewhat?
They're definitely a physical team, and it's a tremendous challenge for our front seven. And comparison, I can't really compare them. Each team is different, but we're excited to play them. We're excited for the challenge, and we're just ready to get out there.
All right, next question for Connor Riley. Go ahead, Connor.
Hey, Jordan, I know he's not your position coach, but what has been your impression of Glenn Schumann and sort of what he brings to this team and to this defense?
Yeah, Coach Schumann is a tremendous coach. He's very smart in the football world, highly respected, and it's just every time I'm around him, I learn something new. Either that's dealing with like coverage where I have nothing to do with, or it's like reading how the linebackers operate and why we need to be in our gaps when they shoot. But honestly, Coach Schumann is a great coach, and that's what impresses me the most is how much I learn when I'm around him.
The next question is for Ralph Russo. Go ahead, Ralph.
Good morning, Jordan. So if I was to say to you that Alabama put forth a blueprint to how to beat Georgia, do you think that there's like a code that they may have cracked here, or that what Alabama did could be replicated in some ways? I think that's a theme that's out there. I'm not sure if it's necessarily true, but I'm wondering what you think of that.
In my opinion, I haven't heard of that. It's the first time I'm hearing about that. But you lose some, and you just work on getting better. Obviously we're not going to be the same team from last game to this game at Michigan, but we just have to keep moving forward and worry about ourselves and just get ready for the game.
Okay, next question is for Michael Cohen. Go ahead, Michael.
Hey, Jordan, could you describe some of the chemistry and the time that goes into developing the twists and stunts that you guys run so well, and just how long it takes to get comfortable as a unit with the motions of that type of thing?
Yeah, definitely. It's all about timing. It's all about chemistry. Excuse me. It takes timing from the D-line, takes timing from the OLBs, from the inside linebackers, from everybody. And, if you're misjudging time or shoot the gap too early, you could be in somebody else's gap, and that's not good. But it's definitely a timing thing, as with any position in football. Split second can mean the world, but the timing.
We're going to take 2 more questions here. Next one's for David Hale. Go ahead, David.
Hey, Jordan, how are you?
Good.
when was the last time that you thought about the Alabama game? Like, how quickly did you put it behind you, or does it continue to kind of just, weasel its way into your brain or your thought process every now and again?
Definitely. I feel like any game I lost, especially in college, even in high school, it still hits me every once in a while when I think about it. Really, but you just got to keep moving forward. You can't do all in the past. Nothing you can do about it. You just have to continue and move on in the future. And that's not just with football. That's with life. So that's one thing that I learned over the years. And you just have to keep moving forward.
Okay, last question for Justin Felder. Go ahead, Justin.
What's up, Jordan? I know this is a business trip for you guys, and there's one big goal, but you think about bowl week, and there's also the fun stuff and the go-karts and the food contests, whatever. Just what do you think this week's going to be like, and what's it like having gone through a year that was pretty normal, then all of a sudden COVID goes crazy, it's going through the NBA, NFL, and now things are going to be a little different. What's it going to be like, and what are you thinking about it?
Definitely excited to be in Miami and everything, but as we all know, it's a hot spot for COVID. We just have to make sure that we protect ourselves and wear our masks and, just enjoy the moment. Obviously, bowl week is a great time for team chemistry and getting to know each other a little bit better than we already do. And we're just excited to be here and have fun in Miami.
All right. Thank you, Jordan. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. All right. That concludes Georgia's press conference this morning. Just as a reminder, the Michigan press conference will be today at 11:15 a.m. That Zoom link can be found in the media advisory email. Thank you. We look forward to seeing you the rest of the week and for Michigan press conference in an hour and a half. Thanks.